Welcome to this edition of Mayor's Report Pleasanton. I'm your host, Dr. Marshall Kamena. Joining me today is Mayor Jack Balch from the city of Pleasanton. My gosh, I'm just so happy to see you. It's the beginning of an exciting time. I can't refer to it, however.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I've worn a tie. I think this is the first time in 2 years, so I'm honored. I thought I would honor you and do that. I know it's upgrade the clientele here. So a pleasure.
What topics might you like to cover in Mayor's Choice?
Yeah, we've got a packed program here for our viewers. So a couple of things I would definitely want to cover in Mayor's Choice is, first and foremost, we want to hear our community's voice. We want you to be part of our most local form of government. The city of Pleasanton has just opened up committee and commission recruitments. We have 26 positions available this fall for recruitment. It is currently open. It will expire or complete on August 18th, and then we will be looking to select and appoint 26 individuals to our committees and commissions. So that's the first thing. I'll lead off with that.
What was that date? August what?
August 18th.
18th.
People will need to apply by August 18th.
That's a lot of positions.
Yeah, it's a lot of positions. The next is the Tri-Valley Mayor's Summit, just occurred. It's not necessarily something we'll talk about later in the program, but that was on July 30th. And the beauty about that is it brings together the 5 mayors of the 3 valleys, the Tri-Valley. So it comes all the way from Danville, San Ramon, Dublin, Pleasanton, and Livermore. We are the group that goes and advocates at the state level, and then when we're back for the Mayor's Conference in DC, we advocate. And so it's just really good for us to come together and talk to our community about the economics and the challenges that we're facing and seeing. And so that was a wonderful opportunity, and Livermore hosted it this year. So that was on July 30th. And then just a few other things I wanted to mention. Fall is coming to a close, but we're still in those hot dog days of summer. I still want to give a little bit of a shout out to PG&E for their accelerated investment in Pleasanton. So far, knock on some wood, we've had minimal power disruptions in our west side of town, and that was through the efforts of both the mayor's office, myself, and Senator McNerney, our senator for this area, working to get PG&E to prioritize investment in Pleasanton to increase grid reliability, and it seems like it might be proving out. So I'm really excited about that. We just had National Night Out in Pleasanton and throughout the nation on August 4th. Such a wonderful time. I'm going to tell you, I don't know if anyone beat us. We had 46 National Night Out events throughout our community, and one of those it was at BART, so 45 local and BART. And wow, I got to as many as I could, but the force is strong with Pleasanton to support our first responders, and that was just heartwarming, especially after the Little Fire, which we'll discuss, I know, in the program here. And then lastly, as this is my last time before a blackout for me, school is back in, or getting back in at the mid-August. I can't believe it. So I just want to encourage our residents to be aware of our youth who are learning their route to school. As you know, they bike and walk or get a ride from mom and dad. But school's back, so just be extra vigilant. Take some extra time. Make sure you slow down around our school zones. We don't want anything to happen to our youth. Obviously, that's why we do a lot of what we do. So,
well, is this time in August the usual time for school?
I don't know about you, but when I went to school, it seemed like you would wait for Labor Day. But
amen.
Yeah, but I think it's August 11th or 12th. I think it's right here. So that school's starting, and as of the taping, that's basically next week for us.
True, huh?
Yeah.
We alluded a few moments ago to the Little Fire. Do you know how it started, and is it completely contained?
Yeah, so a great reminder that emergencies can strike anywhere. And as I can just start off by telling our community, please sign up for AC Alert. It is the Alameda County alert system. It will text you. Maybe we've changed phones or changed phone numbers, but make sure your kids are signed up for it. Make sure you're signed up for it. AC Alert. That's the first thing I'm going to start with. And then secondly, make a to-go bag, a go bag. Have an emergency plan. You can find out all about this on Pleasanton's website. Just type in emergency preparedness in the search button, and we go from there. So let's go into the Little Fire. You know, a truly scary event, and I just can't thank our firefighters, CAL FIRE, all of our mutual aid partners, the Livermore Police Department, the Pleasanton Police Department, all of these agencies that came together, and I can go through it here, but just so grateful. So it's 100% contained. It closed, CAL FIRE closed out the incident on July 26th. From the start of the fire on the 21st to the time that the evacuation orders was lifted was about 27 hours, which is remarkable for the fact that we are so grateful. We had no structures lost, no loss of human life. There was an injury with the firefighter, the CAL firefighter who sustained a minor injury, but was released after his fire truck rolled. But it's just incredible that happened. 1,007 acres burned. So a couple of things. All 10 Livermore Pleasanton fire stations were committed to the fire. And departments from Oakland, Alameda, the city of Alameda, Hayward, Fremont, Alameda County, and CAL FIRE moved in to cover stations in Livermore Pleasanton throughout to address 911 calls. Because again, our entire fire department rallied to get on to this fire.
This is really serious business.
It is extremely serious, and it shows the incredible preparation and partnerships.
Did you adjourn the council meeting?
Yeah, so I was just going to mention that. So that was the night a council meeting was going to occur, and it happened to be a Tuesday. I typically work all day Tuesday at City Hall, so I was there when the first call came in, and as we monitored it from approximately 2:30 on, the council meeting got continued so that we could obviously not take staff away from fighting the fire so that the council members could do it. I'll just maybe on a personal note, I was at City Hall, as I mentioned. I started calling people as soon as I was informed that Ruby Hill may be evacuated. That's about when I learned, about 3:30. And so I started calling people. Vice Mayor Gatos, whose district this represents, came to City Hall as well. And between the two of us, we tried to coordinate just amongst ourselves. I just want to be very clear because incident command was handled by our fire department, our emergency operations center. But Vice Mayor Gatos and I know a lot of people in the area's evacuation zones, both in Ruby Hill and Vintage Hills that was evacuated. And so we just started calling people as quickly as we could to give them as much warning and notice. I know that if I got a call to evacuate, I think I'm ready, but Dr. Kamena, I go on a trip and I forget my toothbrush sometimes, right?
Or your tie.
Or my tie.
Yeah.
So, I might forget my tie in an emergency as well. But that extra time we hope helped people get further.
So you had during the meeting that night too, did you?
We continued the meeting, and we continued the meeting of the 21st again so that we wouldn't pull people away. And once the meeting got continued around 6 o'clock, that freed me up to leave City Hall and those phone calls I was making. And then I went to the shelter. Vice Mayor Gatos came to the shelter, which was at our senior center. We had, at one point, 154 residents at the senior center checking in there. And then you may know, but the evacuation orders started lifting. And as they started lifting, that 154 people that had checked in kind of declined down because people returned to their homes safely. And at the end, we had only 3 residents. I thought it was more initially, but only 3 residents stayed overnight. We had 20 animals at one point, between dog and cat and other. It was kind of interesting to see them do that. And I can't say enough for a couple of different groups, if I may. So we know the front end first responders, fire, police, all deserving amazing grace and thanks for what they've done. But also our city team that maybe isn't so visible. Our public works department, the way water works in Pleasanton and many cities, is that we fill up the tanks at night, and throughout the day as people water their lawns and wash their clothes and drink water.
Seems logical.
It reduces the tank, right? And as soon as our city water department understood that there was a threat to our community, they turned on emergency kind of procedures to fill the tanks so that there'd be enough hydrant water to fight the fire. And I just can't, the coordination by our city department was amazing. And then you go to the other side, which is our Parks and Recreation Department had already closed the senior center for the day. They reopened the senior center, they mobilized the team to come down, and they start setting up beds for people in case the worst goes longer. And it gets me a bit teared up, but as a mayor, you usually see cots and things set up. I remember Katrina and some of these disasters we had, 9/11 when I was younger, and to see cots set up in our senior center was really challenging. So I know we've got to go to break, but I'll just end with thank you to our entire community, our residents for helping each other. Thank you to our first responders and our city staff, the Emergency Operations Center. Don't forget to sign up for AC Alert. Visit the city's website, type in emergency preparedness, and make sure you and your family are prepared in case an emergency strikes. I can't emphasize it enough. We've learned a valuable lesson here.
Amen. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back on this edition of Mayor's Report Pleasanton in just a moment. Welcome back to this exciting edition of Mayor's Report Pleasanton. We are here talking with Mayor Jack Balch from the city of Pleasanton. And I'm sorry to bring up this subject of taxation, but I wonder if you'd update us on the outcome of putting the hotel tax on the November ballot. What's the process now?
Yeah, thank you for the question. And I think our residents have been very aware that Pleasanton's been having a bit of a fiscal challenge. We've been navigating through it with different ways to enhance revenues. And also kind of look at what we are doing and providing services to our residents. So on July 7th, the City Council, Pleasanton City Council, unanimously put onto the ballot a transit occupancy tax, kind of known as a hotel tax, for this November 3rd, 2026. And that will now turn it over from the council to our residents and voters, right? And letting the people decide, which I greatly respect. So that's part one, is that we have advanced that unanimously. And then part two is maybe to explain the process. The city attorney at this point will now prepare an impartial analysis of the arguments for and against. And then there will be rebuttals prepared. And then all of that information will be printed in the sample ballot voter guide that will be sent out later this year as the election approaches. For the Pleasanton City Council, we appointed council members Craig Eicher and Jeff Nybert to be the council's drafters of the primary argument for the measure to
If they get along fine, that'll be a good result.
And I think they will do an excellent job preparing an argument for it. And then once that's done and printed, the voters will have a choice. And we hope, obviously, the council hopes the voters will evaluate this matter seriously. It would bring in, if proposed, well, let me maybe explain what it will do. We've decided to go in two phases to increase the tax, ask the voters for that. The first one will move it from 8 to 10% in July 1, 2027, and then from 10 to 12% in July 1, 2028. So a two-step, if you will. And it's been at 8% since 1983. It's the lowest in Alameda County. Our neighboring cities range from 10 to 14% outside the Tri-Valley. Tri-Valley is around 8%, so I don't want to mislead. But when we looked at all of it, before we put it on the ballot, we've been doing quite a lot of financial analysis of the city's budget situation. We did a lot of community outreach. It polled very well by our residents because they understand that visitors will pay the tax if they stay in one of Pleasanton's hotels. We did a lot of stakeholder engagement. I can't emphasize this enough. And we talked to a lot of the hotel operators. And a lot of them understood why we needed this, because obviously those visitors come to our city and benefit from our services, whether that be police or the parks or fire services. And so based on all of that input, we decided to do the two-step and to proceed.
Go do the two-step.
The two-step. So 8 to 10, 10 to 12. So once if passed by the voters, and I should make sure, I really give a lot of respect to it is the voters' choice at this point. But if the voters do pass it, it's anticipated to bring in $1.4 million in year one, that first step. And then once the second step is taken, $2.8 million annually based on current hotel stays. Now we know that the hotel industry overall and tourism is a bit soft because the business tourism or business travel is still slightly depressed. But Pleasanton does have a lot of hotels and a lot of very high quality hotels. So we still think there's a draw to the Tri-Valley and for those visitors to stay in Pleasanton. And so it will be, just so everyone understands, it will be a general tax. It'll be able to support city services, programs, including public safety, infrastructure maintenance, streets, sidewalks, parks, recreation, economic development. And it is part of the broader long-term strategy that we've done to look at our fiscal health. And I encourage the way the budget will come forward is our next two-year budget will be July 1, 27. So I encourage, even if this passes, and I hope it does, or not, if the voters so choose, but even which be a part of the budget process January through June of 2027. That will be really important for our residents.
Got it.
Yeah.
Are you old enough to remember the name Robbie the Robot?
I am. Yeah, so you're going to go into
Should
this?
not have admitted it. Residents and visitors alike are going to see robots roaming around the city, and maybe you can fill us in.
Yeah, so when I saw this, I had to read it a second time, but kind of on a little bit of a whim / cool thing. Pleasanton's working on upgrading our sidewalks and Americans with disabilities access throughout our city, right? But we obviously have so many roads, sidewalks, transition periods and points. So it's very difficult to map all that out and very labor intensive. So in the coming weeks, residents will notice a small robot. They call it a DAXbot robot. I don't know if that's its name, but DAXbot. So we'll be traveling along the sidewalks and trails throughout Pleasanton, and it will be taking basically a detailed scan of the sidewalk and helping us map it out so that we can identify where we need improvements. Oh, they did tell me 360 miles of sidewalks, trails along the curb ramps, signalized intersections, and transit stops throughout Pleasanton. Using the technology allows the city to gather detailed, consistent information more efficiently than obviously having a staff person do it. And again, it's part of that broader ADA upgrade and then helping us to prioritize and identify where improvements are needed. So I think it's a pretty cool little thing. We talk about how technology can make our lives better or easier, more in the medical field typically, but here's something that's real life, takes a ton of time to do at 360 miles. So I don't know how frequently it has to charge, but it's going to be out and about. So say hi to Dax.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But are there any, briefly, new businesses opening that we ought to be aware of?
Yeah, so we're going to pivot to that. So as many viewers know, economic development is definitely one of the priorities of this current council majority and council, and we're really excited to see how that's progressing. Viewers may have watched my State of the City back in March of this year, 2026.
That was 100% of the valley.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we outlined the Pleasanton playbook at that time. And what we realized for last year when I and many talked to businesses is they didn't know necessarily how to navigate the city's permitting process, or they were new to it. You know, a business entrepreneur may not have ever gone for a permit or process. They're interested in cooking great food and getting customers to their establishment. So we rolled out the Pleasanton playbook, which was basically a nice one-page layout of the process you'll go through to get a permit in Pleasanton. And from that, we are seeing some of the initial benefits of it. So I've got a whole list, I'm pretty excited, of new businesses. Hollister Company is returning to Stone Ridge Mall. They're not for your type of clothing, I'll just mention Dr. Kamena. But Clay All Day is a new ceramic studio offering pottery classes and will be coming to town. Another recent opening is the Good Feet store. I'm on my feet a lot and I need good shoes. So
that is a place for it.
Yeah, that is a good one. So personalized arch support, that definitely is important. My wife tells me all the time. And so I'm really excited. That's going to be at Pleasanton Gateway Shopping Center. Then we have several more businesses that are preparing to open. And we've started a newsletter to just tout this. A Huevo, a new Mexican breakfast and brunch restaurant. Haraz Coffee House. Chawala Tea House. Master Shin. Maru Sriracha. Olagi Japanese Restaurant. And JK World Class Taekwondo. So we've just got quite a lot that's continuing to build on the strength and the efforts that we have put down. And I think that's something that people want government to deliver, and they expect it to do it so fast. But we have to get the baseline, if you will. And so when we did the baseline and looked at what the impediments are to business, that's where this Pleasanton playbook came about, streamlining permitting processes. The council passed a lot of streamlining, and now we're starting to see the fruits of that labor. And I'll just mention, we continue to see that cell service needs to improve. We've streamlined the cell service ordinances in Pleasanton, and we're looking at how to get that on a fast track as best as we can as well to lure companies in. People can go and learn more about businesses happening in Pleasanton. It's called In Pleasanton, and it's on social media. Just IN Pleasanton. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm excited, as you can tell.
Absolutely. I mean,
a lot of ribbon cuttings.
but it's a lot of fun, isn't it?
It is. It is, and rewarding.
Now, is that chap who was the city manager in Danville still in a position here?
Yeah, so we currently have Mr. Joe Calabrigo, the former city manager of the town of Danville, who's our interim city manager here in the city of Pleasanton. We're very appreciative for his support of our city in this transition period as the council looks for a permanent placement.
Seems like it was a nice, smooth transition.
Well, he has quite a wealth of experience, as you yourself do, and you know, that just helps us all do better.
Well, gosh, I'm so sorry that it's over.
Well, it goes quick.
But thank you for being here and updating us. And thank you for watching this edition of Mayor's Report Pleasanton. Join us for the next episode of Mayor's Report right here on Tri-Valley TV. I'm Dr. Marshall Kamena. I certainly thank you for joining us.